Getting to join the AIA Dallas board was a huge honor for me. Growing up with an uncle who was an architect and a father who studied urban planning, I remember getting to sit around my uncle's house in the summers, playing with his T-square, pretending to design stuff, sitting in the middle of Zilker Park in the middle of Austin, talking about how great cities are designed with my father. Dallas is a place I care deeply about. Having gone to college here and left immediately afterwards and swearing that I would never come back to Dallas. It was interesting to find myself just a few years after traveling the US and living in New York and spending time in LA and San Francisco and Miami and Denver, finding myself moving back to Dallas and realizing that there were a lot of unique challenges. Monetarily and economically, the city and the region is doing pretty good. People are moving here in droves. But whenever you ask people, like I did at the Mobility Summit, what is your favorite city? And I told them to yell it out. At the count of 3, I said, yell out your favorite city that you love to live in or travel to. What is the city when you're moving around it, whether it be on a bike or in a subway or in a taxi? What's the city that you love the most? I said, on 3, yell it out. 1, 2, 3. And everybody in the crowd at the Mobility Summit yells it out. And I said, raise your hand if you yelled out Dallas. Nobody raised their hands. And so when I decided to move back, and after spending a couple of years here and then sitting at that Mobility Summit and seeing nobody raise their hands, I knew that there was a disconnect. How could a city so strong to weather the economic problems of the Great Depression, the Great Recession, which definitely felt like the Great Depression, how could we do so well economically, yet do so poorly culturally, so poorly meet the needs of both those living in poverty, but also those who were moving here in droves for jobs. So whenever I asked them to yell out that city, and they realized that even amongst themselves as Dallas citizens, they weren't happy with where Dallas was. And not just when it came to mobility, but when it came to Dallas as a cultural city, as a vibrant city, they weren't happy with it. And so I knew that that was a unique challenge, and I'm one for challenges. Having grown up in poverty and a first-generation American, I've always seen that if you want to make something great, you got to roll up your sleeves and do it. Because the American dream is really not about a dream at all. It's actually about doing work. We have 3 things that we can give. We have our time, we have our talent, and we have our treasure. And the thing about treasure is that everyone has a different amount of it and values their treasure differently. So when it comes to monetary donations, find out where you can best give, and also look at what's having the biggest impact, about things that you care about. Not things that may be trendy or things that may be on the TV or just something that your friends post. Think about what you care about. Think about what you are passionate about, and give towards that, because money, regardless of how much you have, can make a difference. And we got to find ways to give that most effectively. The second part about that is whenever you start looking at your time is very important. And organizations and nonprofits out there, especially organizations like AIA Dallas, they need people's time. There's so many great committees that you can sit on, or there's also opportunities to volunteer. So it's really about finding where you can best utilize your time and how you want to be able to give it. And that's where talent comes in, because we all have different talents. some people are more talented at drawing, other people are more talented at putting together an event. Some people are very talented at getting people to move and to do things. And we all have been gifted different talents. Finding your unique talent to be able to give that to organizations like AIA Dallas or to give it to committees is really, really important, because at the end of the day, you're going to look back on your life and on your career, and you're not going to wonder so much about the accomplishments that you may have received as much as how you impacted others. And you can impact others sometimes 10 times larger than you ever could have by winning an award, by sitting there and putting together an event that recognizes others. I think it's one of the biggest things that you can do is ask, what can I as an individual give to this profession, this industry that I love? What is it that I can give that nobody else may be uniquely positioned to give? What can I give so that my industry, my profession, my AIA can serve better?